Genesis chapter 2, verse 10. Patamaste ek peruatai ex Edem, potizain tan paradison. Ekathan apharizataies tesseras archas. In the prior two videos, we looked at Genesis 2:9, where God made trees, including the tree of knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. Now we have a patamos, which is a river. If you know the word hippopotamus, hippo is horse, patamos is river. Therefore, hippopotamus is a river horse. Maybe that's a good memory clue for you. You have a post-positive de here. This is simply moving the narrative forward. So we would want to translate that with and, not but. And a river, et peruatai. This is a third singular present middle indicative. It is from peruamai with an ek on the front end. You see that etai ending. And it is in the present. So a lot of folks would call this a narrative present, or sometimes call it a historical present. We've seen a lot of aorist, but for whatever reason, the translator here picked a present. We would still probably translate it, and a river went forth. You would translate it in the past in English, even though it's present in Greek, and it's from Edem. Remember, we saw this previously. Even though the N is there in Hebrew, this is one of those idiosyncrasies of transliteration into Greek, where often they will use the mu. Now, it has a purpose here, potizain. This is from potizo, which means to give water to. And in this case, it is a present active infinitive. Notice that EIN ending. So this could be, in some sense, a complementary infinitive. It goes out to water, or you could just describe it as a purpose infinitive. You end up in the same place, goes out to water. Tam paradesan. We've seen that word before. This is the garden. And we've seen that in a couple of different videos. So the river is going out to water the garden. Then ekathan here means from there, essentially from the garden. Apharizatoi, which is from aphorizo. Now you see the etai ending. This is a third singular present middle indicative, even though you'll notice that its lexical form is omega. And it kind of makes sense in this case. This word means divide. And it kind of makes sense that the translator would pick the middle here, because the river is in some sense dividing itself, like the verb is impacting the river itself. It branches into four. Tesseres is four, simply the number four. Archas. Now this, of course, is from a very familiar word, arche, which can mean beginning or head. In this case, it would be something like headwater. And so this river branches off into four headwaters, which then get described in Genesis 2:11. I want to draw our attention, though, to a very, very beautiful connection that is basically being made from Genesis all the way to the very end of the New Testament, Revelation chapter 22. This river, as we actually saw in the prior video where the tree of life shows up again, here the river shows up again as well. So in the new creation, when you have the new heavens and new earth showing up here in Revelation 21 and 22, the angel showed me the river of the water of life, bright as crystal, going back to this patamos. And in fact, the author of Revelation, John, doesn't typically cite the Old Testament, but even here he's picking up on the ek peruamai verb that we saw. In this case, it's a participle, flowing or going out from the throne of God and of the Lamb through the middle of the street of the city. And also on either side of the river, so it's straddling this river, you have yet again that tree of life from Genesis 2:9. With its 12 kinds of fruits for the healing of the nations. And it just goes on. It's so beautiful how you have Genesis 2:10 and the river informing the sort of consummate Eden, this new creation here in Revelation, as well as the tree of life that is being nourished by this river. So really awesome connection from Genesis 2 all the way to the end of the New Testament.